I broke my back.
What do you mean by that?
My back is broken.
What do you mean, calm it down? It's a fight. Referees telling two fighters who want to fight to calm it down? He should calm down.
I saw he's like a clown in his show, man. He's not your guy.
Because Tyson Fury's back, and all you motherfuckers are under attack.
Look, Eddie Hearn can say all what he likes. Who gives a shit what Eddie Hearn says? It's garbage.
Are you off your tits? Have you been smoking something?
Can you let me retire and be happy? Please, just please.
Bombs away from the Bronx Bomber! Wanda! Let's go, baby! Let's go!
I'm through. They put somebody else up and give me an interview.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
You never give me a fair shake. HBO needs to fire you. You don't know shit about boxing. You ain't shit. You not shit.
I wish I was 50 years younger and I'd kick your ass.
I got dropped, man. No, you won the fight.
OMG. I am so excited.
But anyways, digressing. Let's get to the fights this weekend. Pacquiao versus Adrien Broner on Showtime pay-per-view. The start of really testing the market landscape of boxing in the U.S. with all of these pay-per-views. This one might do actually quite well. Might even do better than Wilder Broner, which is actually unfortunate because I think that's going to be the wrong lesson to learn from these pay-per-views in my mindset. I mean, I feel like this is a pretty obvious fight to pick and just sort of like break down. Pacquiao is the faster mover, throws more in combination. Him being the southpaw, I think, is going to give Broner a lot of issues. I should see Pacquiao throwing a lot of jabs, circling around to the weak side of Broner, landing left hands, going to the body, and breaking Broner down. And by the 10th, 11th round, he might even get Broner out of there just from accumulation. Because, again, this is not the Broner that fought Maidana. This is not a Broner that was, all spunky. This is a Broner that's depressed, that's going off on rants about Al Bernstein, who's one of the nicest guys in the sport. A guy that's dealing with legal trouble as we speak. There's a lot of red flags for Adrien Broner, let alone that in the ring he hasn't really produced anything close to elite, elite skill, elite substance in the ring. He hasn't just done it for a while. So I think, again, Manny Pacquiao, even in a faded state, I'm picking TKO over Adrien Broner by late 10th, 11th, maybe 12th round. The best thing Broner can do, his biggest hope is to land a counter mid-combination of Pacquiao and hurt him. But is that probable? Is that more than likely to happen? And I talk about this a lot on this show. There's a lot of things that are possible in a fight. There's a lot of things that can happen in a fight. But what is probable? What is more than likely to happen? Is Broner more than likely to knock out Manny Pacquiao? The record doesn't show that. The empirical evidence we can go back to does not point to, Broner can knock out a guy of Manny Pacquiao's skill, ability, and just stature. But yeah, Broner probably going to get finished at some point. Rob, your thoughts on this main event? That you get for free.
We do. ITV4. Tune in. No money needed. I've got Pacquiao winning this by unanimous decision. I think we've seen it consistently for a little while now, that while he looks real good in spots and flashes, Broner just doesn't throw enough punches. He likes to do that sort of last few seconds of rounds to look, to walk back to the corner with his hand raised as if like, I won that one. But I think in the Mikey fight, we saw that get kind of done to him. Sort of Broner looked sort of good at the start of the rounds, and then Mikey would catch him. He would shake his head and say, "No, that didn't hurt me," which generally means it did. And then Mikey turned it up with the last, that last minute, 30 seconds of a round, and just took most of the rounds in that fight. I think Pacquiao will look to try and keep Broner a little bit at range. Because I think Broner, when he gets in a little closer, is a lot more dangerous. But I think think you're right. I think apart from the stoppage, I think you're right. Pacquiao was just going to be too. I think his speed and not that Broner's slow in that department. You know, sometimes he does throw some like heavy looking, you know, fast shots, but they're just too few and far between. I think he just keeps. It's always been the word people say about keeping his hands in his pockets and not letting his hands go.
Like you know this probably better than anyone. You know, like the old stereotype of the Euro bum. You know, the high guard walking in, taking shots. That's Adrien Broner. Like he's the UK. I mean, he's the US Euro bum style. Like he has the high guard. He's trying to counter. He's trying to land on the body. You know, and he throws in single shots, not really in combination, and it's all power shots. And he just eats combinations continuously throughout a fight. If a guy like Jesse Vargas, if a guy like Mikey Garcia could land shots at will, Adrian Granados can land shots at will against Broner, yeah, Pacquiao's going to have his way.
Yeah, unless we see some like getting old in the ring on the, you know, that father time catches up with him. I just think Pacquiao's going to be too good, too fast, too clever, and I'm going to give Broner some credit. He always seems very try hard. He doesn't, you know, necessarily give up. He's got heart and he's got a real good chin. I think. Obviously, we've seen him. Is it only Maidana that has put him down? I just feel like when he has stepped up, he's come up short. That's all. When it's been the big moment, I think he's always come up short. Absolutely. And just because of what he's like as a character, as a person, as a sales pitch, he keeps get given these opportunities, and
he does numbers. He does numbers.
So yeah, numbers speak for themselves.
You know, you talk about Al Heyman stable fighters that can do numbers. I mean, obviously you have Mayweather, but it's Wilder and Broner. Like those are the two guys that do the biggest numbers consistently for that company. So regardless of his out of the ring antics or even in ring antics, or lack of, you know, elite caliber wins, he is always going to get these opportunities because he gets the views, he gets the ratings. It's the nature of the beast.
It is, yeah. And interestingly, hearing reports that Floyd Mayweather is going to be ringside.
It's bullshit.
Is it? Is he not?
No, I mean, like...
I thought he was like, no, it's not, Rob. Your reports are wrong.
Well, I mean, I've seen people like Eddie Hearn included going like, oh, I'm just saying, like, hey, I think Mayweather and Pacquiao is going to get in the ring after Pacquiao wins. It's like, yeah, duh. Like, they're going to, like, that's a very likely outcome that we see Pacquiao win. Mayweather gets in the ring and they, you know, set up the fight for May or whatever, or probably in April, and they fuck with Canelo versus Daniel Jacobs. And I mean,
but that's not a similar thing anymore, is it? With the zone deal, like Floyd can go on Showtime pay-per-view, no problem, but people can still tune into Canelo as a subscriber. It's not really.
That's true, and actually, that would be more of like that would actually damage the Canelo fight more than the previous version of that, which was pay-per-view, right? Which, you know, the McGregor fight and obviously the Triple G fight, and how that was a week before, and that, you know, most people's minds, I think that took away from at least some sales of Canelo Triple G, the first fight. For this one, you can't really do that because it's not the same, you know, medium for consumers. But what you can do is put it directly on top of it and directly compete with it. And obviously, DAZN doesn't release numbers. And obviously, it's a very new app. Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd Mayweather 2 could do, you know, respectively abysmal numbers for them, which would be what, a million pay-per-view buys, and that would still seem like a ginormous win for Mayweather over Canelo again. You're right. Interesting.
So, where would you suspect if they did do this clash of? Where would the fight be held? Vegas, right?
Oh well, no. Well, I mean, because
T-Mobile's booked, taken.
That's the thing. You probably can't compete 1-to-1 with Canelo in terms of a location if they go to Vegas. but Mayweather owns that city, like in a way that very few fighters have ever owned a city. Is it possible that he could sneak in here and sort of take the T-Mobile Arena before, the Canelo fight gets finalized for T-Mobile? I don't know. Because like you said, Lance Pugmire reporting, like Golden Boy execs are going to have to go talk to MGM execs because MGM owns T-Mobile Arena, for those who don't know, and have to, finalize the deal. Could Mayweather swoop in and get the better deal? Yeah, that's definitely a possibility. Is it probable? I don't know. This is up in the air in a lot of ways.
I mean, 36 minutes ago, Lance Pugmire said, told by Oscar De La Hoya right now that Canelo-Daniel Jacobs fight will be at T-Mobile Arena. Just a matter of setting a few details before the agreement is signed.
Okay, so let's assume that they locked that date down. What will happen for Mayweather Pacquiao? Maybe LA.
Let's just see if he even gets in the ring. We're proper speculating right now.
Well, I think regardless of him getting in the ring, like I still think the fight happens. You know what I mean? Like I don't think you need that in-ring moment necessarily. Not for this rematch. Not for this rematch.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that they're the same age, I guess they can do it whenever. They're both going to be equally, that same age. It's not like someone will say, "Oh, Floyd's waiting for Manny to get old," or they're both old.
Exactly. Co-main event. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off.
Sorry, I just said who wants to see it. Really,
not me. I mean, I kind of want to see it, but I don't want to pay for it. Badou Jack versus Marcus Brown in the co-main event. I think a really nice co-main event to this pay-per-view. A title eliminator for Alexander Vazdic, which I think will be obviously a story we get to on a later show about how that goes to purse bids, and that would be an interesting dynamic on who wins that one. But who wins this fight? Badou Jack, Marcus Brown. This is a fight that I've been going back and forth for some time. If Marcus Brown has been consistent, if he had sort of stayed away from his legal issues, his domestic violence troubles, I feel like I would pick Marcus Brown to win. I feel like he's improved fight by fight, especially since that Hot Rod fight, which he arguably lost. Badou Jack coming off I think he has a win since that draw. No, coming off the draw with Adonis Stevenson, having some time off, being a little bit older. I don't like that time off and that inactivity and coming off the draw, coming into this fight with a young guy, undefeated. First real big step up. But again, he's been a little bit inconsistent, Marcus Brown. He's had some fights not get made because of his outside the ring issues. So it's hard to expect the A games from both guys here, to be quite honest. I don't think either guy is going to be 100% going into this fight for other reasons other than ability. But the fight itself is still a fantastic matchup. I think Marcus Brown's a little bit more of a sniper with the shots. I think he's a little bit more of a long-range guy when it comes to his boxing ability. I think he likes to come in, dart in and out with that power hand, and look to set up shots that way, while Badou Jack is far more fundamental, far more of a guy that's standing behind the jab, going to the body, working combinations. I really think Badou Jack is probably the safer bet. I think he does by far the better work. I think he does by far the more consistent work, and he just has a better resume at this point. So I'm going Badou Jack hesitantly, but it's a very interesting matchup in a lot of ways.
I'm going Badou Jack easily.
Oh.
Because according to the WBC boxing account, it's Badou Jack versus Marcus Brown from West Ham United Football Club. Yeah, and then they had to amend it. They were like, "Oh, my bad, not the Marcus Brown of West Ham United. I mean, Marcus Brown, the boxer." But I still stand by my Badou Jack pick. I think, I think he's going to be plenty good enough to beat Marcus Brown, in my opinion. And what did they release? The winner of this faces Vazdic.
Vazdic. Don't pronounce the G. Think about it that way.
All right.
This is Vazdic.
Vazdic. Yeah, we'll face him. So yeah, that's a good fight. I like that.
Great fight. I can't wait for that. And also, can't wait for that purse bid and that negotiation process. Because I think Bob Arum, knowing Bobby, yeah, he sticks out for purse bid on that one. Let's be honest. He's one of those guys. When he gets the notification from WBC, right? Hey, Badu Jack won the fight. You now have to negotiate in this period. Purse bid on this day. He's like, he can just send the letter back. No, purse bid now, bitch. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's see who wins.
Forward the motion for an early one. Let's just get it done.
Just get it done.
But shout out to Bob Arum. He's already on record today at the New York presser for Crawford Khan that this does 1 million pay-per-view buys.
Did he say that?
He did, yeah.
Man, Bob Arum's on that good weed, man. When you get glaucoma and you get the good weed, like the good medical weed, that's some good shit, man. Shout out to Bob Arum. He's talked about this. Isn't like it's news. Like he has talked about smoking weed numerous times in his old age.
Oh yeah.
Did you know that, by the way, or am I like breaking news to you?
No, I knew that.
Okay,
yeah.
okay. Just making sure.
Even if you didn't tell me, I had a hunch.
You can tell. His eyes are always bloodshot. I wonder why. But digressing, Rashid Warren against Nordine Obali. Obali undefeated. I don't know much about him, but that fight is the winner of that fight for the vacant WBC World Bantamweight title. They will fight Takumi Inoue next per the WBC in their ordering. Can't wait to see what happens with that one. I've always been a fan of Rashid Warren. Always been a fan of his boxing ability. Next card of the weekend, Dimitri Andrade versus Artur Akavov on DAZN. Amanda Serrano versus Eva Vorberger. TJ Doheny versus Rohi Takahashi. Really good fight, I'll be honest. Probably the best fight. One of the better fights of the weekend.
And very quick, apparently it's Danny Roman unification after this, if Doheny gets through it.
I'm all for that. Jorge Linares also on the card against Pablo Cesar Cano. Chris Algieri against Daniel Gonzalez. I'll be honest. Like, this is all A-sides. The Doheny fight's really good. That should be a fun fight, but I think every fight on here is probably going to be a little bit one-sided, to be quite honest.
Do you know anything of the young amateur that they signed, Eddie signed? I think he's on the card as well. Unless he was just there for the press conference. Let me quickly find.
I don't see anyone making their debut. So
maybe he's not then. Maybe he's not. He was just there as part of the.
I didn't see that news
announcement. I'll find his name quickly, but yeah, A-side, I guess, card. I'm still gonna be like, give DAZN or Eddie on DAZN that little bit of time to really get his feet, in the door kind of thing, and really try and make a mark. I think 5 months in is a bit. He's just a little bit soon to judge. So, stop judging people, Matt.
Hey, I'm not judging anyone. I'm just judging the card I'm paying for. But moving on, again, I think we're pretty much all in agreement with that, and I do want to get to callers. Brian Jennings versus Oscar Rivas on ESPN Plus. And the only other fight that's like firmly official on this card that I see on BoxRec is Shakur Stevenson versus Jesse Rosales. Jennings versus Rivas. Rivas being undefeated. I believe he's a Colombian heavyweight. Yes, Colombian. Yeah. I've always been kind of impressed with him. Good Olympic pedigree. Going to be interesting to see what he can do in this bout with a huge step up. And obviously, Shakur Stevenson, I'm always excited to see what he can do. But yeah, I'm not really giving predictions on either one of these fights, but just want to make you guys aware of it. ESPN Plus on Friday, so that is tomorrow. Rob, thoughts on this, or you want to go to callers?
We can go. Just the young amateur that he signed is Otha Jones III. He's apparently got a great amateur record, X amount of Golden Gloves and titles and whatever. But
I'll be honest, like I'm awful when it comes to amateurs and being aware of the amateur system and who's coming up. Just being honest.
All good.
Just being honest.
No, but yeah, we can go to callers. That's fine.
Let's go to callers.